Hello everyone, it's Elena and welcome back to my channel. So today I feel like in every video I'm like, oh my god, like I'm so excited because today I'm gonna be, okay, I'm sick of doing that. I'm not gonna do that anymore. Wow, that's actually like good. Okay, go off. Today, I wanted to show you guys how you can do your own gel nails and basically pamper yourself from home, because I think that it's so important to do things that makes you feel good about yourself, and honestly having my nails done makes me feel so good about myself. Now I am in no way, shape, or form a nail technician or anybody who's that artistic or has a license or is amazing at painting and doing nails. I'm just a girl trying to save a couple bucks, and I'm gonna help you guys save a couple bucks too. So firstly, in this video, I just wanted to talk about, I know a lot of people on YouTube who talk about doing their gel nails at home have like the Gelish kit that's like, I'll show up you guys a picture. It's just like a starter kit that comes with like a couple polishes, the foundation, the base, I think like a cleanser, a pH bonder, and like a light. That's like $80, I think, to like $100, and to me that's ridiculous. We're not doing that, but I am going to show you how to save a couple bucks even on that, so that's out of the way. So instead of going and buying a branded light, just buy a light off of Amazon. I'll link the one that I use down below. It's not the best, but it works exactly the same as any other light, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I think it was like $6. They might have upped the price since then, but I'm pretty sure when I bought it was $6, which is so much less of an expense than going to Sally's or going to Walmart and buying a Gelish or a OPI light. You don't need that. It works the exact same. It just cures the polish. Obviously too, you're gonna have to invest in buying a foundation, gel foundation, and a gel top coat, which you can get or at any Sally Beauty, or you can get them I think on Amazon or Walmart.com, actually. So weird. Or I think there's a couple other like websites where you can get those things shipped to you if you don't live near a Sally Beauty, so I'll link those websites down below so you can go check them out. Also, just invest in like 2 to 3 colors. Usually gel colors are a little bit more expensive, so they are an investment. I think I'll put the prices down below, or I'll put them on the screen. I don't exactly remember all of the prices. I think the more expensive brands would be like China Glaze and Gelish, but the Gelish minis I think are perfect because I think they're like closer to $8, which honestly is an investment in itself. Let's say you get just like one color, base coat, top coat, you'll probably be spending in total $30 to $40 for all of that stuff, and that's really all that you need. Obviously, all the extra stuff to take care of your cuticles that I'm going to be showing you here is just extra stuff, but honestly, spending just, let's say, $50 on a starter kit for yourself to do your nails, you can do your nails as many times as you want. You can do it from your house, and it's just, I don't know, it's just easier that way. And I think that saving a couple dollars by getting yourself your own equipment to do so is such a great way to save money and not have to deal with the outrageous prices sometimes of getting your nails done all the time. Now, I love going to get my nails done, so I'll never stop doing that, but I think in between, like when I don't really have the cash to do so, I think doing my own gel nails is really, really cost effective and really, really cool. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I will send you off to the voiceover to tell you all you need to know about how to create these really cute nails.
Hello everyone, and let's get started. So I already did my right hand off camera just to save some time and to save you having to miserably watch my left hand try to paint my right hand. Alright, so first we're going to start with my Sally Hansen Instant Cuticle Remover. I use this before any time that I do my nails, whether it be gel polish or regular polish, because it helps kill all of the dead skin around my nails so that I can get a good, beautiful manicure without my cuticles getting in the way and lifting up the nail polish. I usually let this sit for about 5 minutes because even though it says to do it for 1 minute, I find that my cuticles don't get soggy until after 5 minutes. Then I'm using this cuticle pusher to push back my cuticles. As you can see, I have a very, very hard time doing this because my nails are quite flat. They're really not quite round, and this cuticle pusher is shaped sort of round-like, so it doesn't exactly work as well. So I have to go really slow or else I could really jam into my nails and create dents. So I try to go really slow to do this. Obviously, doing anything with your cuticles is optional for any type of manicure. Also, any of this is optional, but I personally think that I get a very clean and beautiful manicure when I decide to just push my cuticles back. And honestly, investing in a cuticle remover is the best thing that I've ever done, because you'll find that if you leave your cuticles or dead skin on your nails, your polish won't stay as long. So I would highly recommend at least pushing your cuticles back, if not trimming them. I'm going to trim mine after doing this step, but of course that's very optional. You can just of course soak with the cuticle remover and push them back, but that's totally up to your personal preference, so I will leave that decision up to you. I'm going to go ahead and wipe all of that mush away with a Kleenex. It's around this time that I wish that I had a lint-free wipe to do this with, but I much prefer Kleenex over a cotton pad because Kleenex are much more dense than a cotton pad. It's much more likely that you won't get these little free-floating fibers on your nails that could get stuck in your manicure. So now I'm just going ahead and trimming my cuticles with these cuticle trimmers that are incredibly dull. So this took a very long time and it was a little painful. So if you're going to trim your cuticles, please make sure that your tools are sharp, because this was really awful even just to do, because I felt like I kept having to go back over the same spot to try and get the cuticle to come off. So definitely invest in good cuticle trimmers. Now I am taking a Q-tip dunked in alcohol, because this is going to act as a pH bonder and a dehydrator, because if you've ever watched nail tutorials, a lot of people will use the OPI pH bonder to help the gel nail polish bond onto their nails a lot better. But honestly, when looking at the ingredients, the first ingredient is rubbing alcohol. So it's really not worth it to go out and buy that. You might as well just use rubbing alcohol because it'll do the same thing. So now I'm going ahead and shaping my nails with this glass file. This is I've only been using a glass file for a little bit, so my hands aren't really quite good at using a glass file because it is very different from using an emery board. And also, I'm just not good at shaping my nails to begin with. I try to do a round shape because that is the most flattering shape for me, but I'm not great at it yet, so definitely bear with me. It's something that I'm improving on, and I'm trying to only go in one direction, which takes, I feel like, a really long time. Even though a lot of people said that a glass file would help cut down that time, I feel like it's not, but maybe I'm just not good at it yet. So I'll let you know how I feel about the glass file if I make another nail tutorial. Also, just another quick thing that I wanted to say. I know that my nails are all kinds of different shapes and sizes. It's because I'm really rough with my hands. I've always been really rough with my hands, so I'm a very likely person to break my nails, as I'm sure most of you can relate with. So a lot of my nails are different sizes and lengths, so I usually just try to round them out the best that I can, and honestly I just go with it. When they're all different lengths, it really doesn't bother me as long as they're all the same shape, if that makes sense. I don't know, everyone's different, but it just doesn't really bother me that much. I just like to have clean painted nails. Alright, so let's get painting. First, you want to start with a foundation. I'm just using the Gelish Mini Foundation. You can get all of these polishes at Sally Beauty, or you can get them online on Sally Beauty. I've seen some on Amazon. I've also seen them on Walmart as well. But personally, I think Sally Beauty is the most convenient place to get all of these tools because they're all in one place. Make sure that you always work in thin coats with gel polish too, because The first time I used gel polish, I found that it's very thick and hard to work with. It's not like normal polish, so you definitely have to work in thin coats and take your time. Also, this little baby light that I'm using, I will link down below. If I'm correct, I believe that this light was only like $6. You don't need an OPI light to use OPI polishes, Gelish polishes, or any type of other branded polishes. You can mix and match your brands, and this light isn't even a brand at all. It's just some random light that I bought off of Amazon. It works just as well as any other light, so I would highly, highly, highly recommend getting a cheap light because they work just as well as all the more expensive ones. Now I'm using this ASP color called Pink Sweetness. It's this really pretty faint pink color, and I think it's perfect for this baby boomer nail. I just think it's the perfect light blush pink, but doesn't look too nude. It's still very pink looking. I went ahead and did 2 coats on my thumb, and of course I did the light off camera because it's easier to just hang my thumb off the end of the table and then set the light up, if that makes sense. But with my other 4 fingers, I can just slide them underneath the light on camera, if that makes sense. Same thing goes with a color polish that's gel polish. I think that you need to be working in thin coats in order to get the perfect opaque manicure. You can just build it up over time. If you put down too much polish and cure it, it will be much more difficult for you to work with it. So do thin coats. You'll thank yourself in the end. Also, I really like ASP polishes more than Gelish because I find that Gelish has colors that look different on the bottle than they do in the inside, but ASP is very true to color, and it's also much more like normal nail polish. So if you're used to using normal nail polish formulations, I would try ASP as your first type of gel polish. I think that this brand is really underrated and really good, and you can probably find it on any website like Cosmoprof. That is if you have a beauty license, but I'm sure that you can find this type of polish anywhere, but I have only seen it for me personally at Sally Beauty, so I think that that's the most convenient place to get all of your gel polish needs. Okay, so now I'm taking this white ASP nail polish color called White Hot. It's a very opaque white, so you will only have to do 1 coat because it is not a milky white. So I'm putting this on first, just partway up my nail, probably about like 1/4 of the nail, just to create a gel white base for the ombre that we're going to create over top of it with acrylic paint. Reason being because you cannot do a traditional ombre with gel polish because the gel polish soaks into the sponge and you won't be able to get a good perfect ombre, especially with a gel white. I already attempted doing it and it just did not work out. It's not opaque, you can't layer it, it just does not work. So it's very common for nail technicians to use acrylic paint to do gel or nail designs with on top of gel polish with acrylic paint. So that is what we are going to be doing today with a latex-free makeup sponge. But first I'm putting down this first layer of gel polish just to create a nice white gel polish base underneath the acrylic paint. And then I'm just capping the free edge, and I'm going to put this underneath the light, and then we're going to go ahead and sponge the acrylic paint on top. Now, I don't see why you couldn't use just regular white nail polish, but you will have to wait for it to completely dry in between doing the top coat or blending or anything. So I highly recommend using acrylic paint instead because it mixes better with gel polish and also it dries very quickly within seconds. So not only do you have to move kind of fast, but it's very nice for gel polish because you don't have to wait to do your next step or put on a top coat because the acrylic paint dries very quickly when in thin coats like this. So I'm going ahead and sponging this white polish on my nail, trying to keep it more concentrated towards the tip of the nail and more feathered out as it goes towards the nail bed. This is very difficult to do, so there's not really a good way to explain this besides dip the sponge into the white acrylic paint and then sponge it off a little bit on an index card to get off a little bit of the excess to create a more feathered like look. That really helps, and also just being careful. If you add too much, you can always go back and add a little bit more of that pink color to help blend it out and then go back in with the white. So it's a lot of going back and forth and trying to figure out what looks good, what doesn't look good, what works, what helps blend it. So as you can see, it was very, very hard for me to blend it, so I just went ahead and put down a layer of the white. And then I found a good way to blend the acrylic and this pink color together is to go over top of the white acrylic paint with a thin coat of the pink polish. And as you can still see the white underneath, but it really helps blend the bed of the nail with the tip of the nail being white. And sort of just going back and forth and playing with how this technique will work is sort of how you try to figure out what looks best on you. But doing a thin layer of the pink over top of this white really helps blend it, so I would recommend doing that. And then you just go ahead and cure it underneath the light. Now I'm just going back in with the sponge and the white acrylic paint, really focusing on the tip of the nail to try and get that a more concentrated white, and then feathering out towards the bed of the nail. I've also found that when you mix the white with a little bit of the pink gel polish, it sort of saturates the white to be less crisp white and more of a mixed off-white, so it helps with the blending really, really well, but it creates a very weird textured nail polish, so just be prepared for the sort of sticky texture that it creates, but it also helps with blending in with that pink color. Now I'm just going back in with that pink polish, concentrating it towards the bed of the nail and dragging the excess on the brush towards the tip of the nail. I know it's so hard to see and I'm so sorry for that, but hopefully seeing a little bit of it and me describing it to you makes sense. Now for this step, I tried to concentrate most of the white towards the tip of the nail, really trying to make it look like a French manicure because this is a type of French manicure, so it needs to have that very crisp white at the end and then a fade towards the nail bed, so that's what I am doing here. Now I'm going ahead and putting on a gel top coat. This is a China Glaze top coat. It is called Gelaze, I think. It's a okay top coat. I definitely don't think that I'll be repurchasing this top coat again, so I wouldn't really particularly recommend it. I just think that it doesn't have that high gloss impact that I would like with the top coat, but it's okay. You can do 1 or 2 coats of top coat, but the most important thing is to make sure that you're wrapping the tip of the nail with the top coat, meaning that you're gliding the brush on the edge of your nail and then curing it underneath the light so that it ensures that your beautiful manicure lasts as long as possible and can't chip on anything, because if you don't wrap the tip, it will actually pop off like a stick-on nail. These nails, if you don't wrap them, aren't protected and they will just come right off and all of your hard work will just fall to the ground. So please make sure you wrap the tip of your nail. And for the final step, either get rubbing alcohol or acetone. I would recommend rubbing alcohol because I think it does a better job to wipe off that final sticky layer that the top coat creates to finish your nails. If you don't do this, the sticky layer will stay on. You only want to do this at the final step because the sticky layer after each time you cure the polish helps each layer of gel polish stick together. So only do this at the end when you're completely done with your manicure. Also, I would recommend using a cotton pad and not a brush because it works a lot better with a cotton pad. So these are the finished nails. I'm so happy with how they turned out, and hopefully I was able to teach you guys how to do this type of nail with gel polish, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!